Hello, tubers. How are you today? Well, today I wanted to do something a little bit more differently than I normally do by going over passages. This time I wanted to focus on the story of Fatima. Now, Fatima was a small town in Portugal, and back in 1917, there were three shepherd children, names of Lucia, Jacinta, and Francisco. And these children had six apparitions of Our Lady in 1917, the last one being on October 13th, 1917. And I got this information from a website called National Catholic Register, and it's titled On July 13, 1917, Our Lady of Fatima showed a vision of hell and taught us how to avoid it. So this article starts this way. Lucia described the vision this way. As Our Lady spoke these last words, she opened her hands once more. Rays of light seemed to penetrate the earth, as we saw as it were a sea of fire. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls in human form, like transparent burning embers. Great clouds of smoke amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair, which horrified us and made us tremble with fear. The demons could be distinguished by their terrifying and repellent likeness to frightful and unknown animals, black and transparent like burning coals. We looked up at Our Lady, who said to us so kindly and so sadly, "You have seen hell, where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my immaculate heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved and there will be peace." Jacinta's father, T. Marto, witnessed the children's actions that day. He remembered that Lucia gasped in sudden horror, that her face was white as death, and that all who were there heard her cry in terror to the Virgin Mary, whom she called by name. The children were looking at their lady in terror, speechless and unable to plead for relief from the scene that they had witnessed. Our Lady said to them, "I want you to continue saying the Rosary every day, and after each one of the mysteries, my children, I want you to pray in this way. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins. Save us from the fires of hell. Take all souls to heaven, especially those who are most in need." The children response to this particular apparition, the children took Our Lady's revelations and requests to heart. Lucia recounted that after Jacinta did. Lucia recounted that soon after Jacinta didn't want to play one day. She told Lucia that our Lady told us to say the Rosary and to make sacrifices for the conversions of sinners. So from now on, when we say the Rosary, we must say the whole Hail Mary and the whole Our Father. And the sacrifices, how are we going to make them? Francisco said a good sacrifice would be going without lunch. Next, Jacinta asked about how long hell lasts in heaven. Lucia said the idea of eternity made the biggest impression on Jacinta. Thinking about sinners in hell, Jacinta said, "Poor sinners, we have to pray and make sacrifices for them." Then she went on, "How good that Our Lady is. She has already promised to take us to heaven." Lucia described how Jacinta took this matter of making sacrifices for the conversions of sinners so seriously, she never let a single opportunity escape her. For example, in the area where two very poor families with children, Jacinta told her brother Francisco and Lucia, "Let's give our lunch to those poor children for the conversion of sinners." The children agreed. This was just the tip of the prayers and sacrifices for sinners that they carried on. Father de Marchi described how Jacinta's boundless zeal permitted her no rest, looking tactfully at her cousin, and her brother, she seemed to feel that with their fierce and heart-wrenching supplications, they could pierce the veil of heaven and all by themselves depopulate the pits of hell. Jacinta would tell her brother and cousin, "We mustn't stop our prayers to save poor souls. So many go to hell." Her heart beat in endless pity for the damned, but her intelligence demanded reasonably to understand why people went to such a frightful and hideous place as they had seen. Jacinta asked, "Lucia, do you remember how Our Lady's heart, when she showed it to us, was being pierced by thorns?" "Surely I do," Lucia replied. "It simply means that her heart is wounded by the sins of people, and she is asking them to be sorry and to make up for their sins, so that God will not have to punish them too much. She can't make people good. They must themselves want to be good." Later, very ill, Jacinta would share many insights, among them the sins which cause most the sins that cause most souls to go to hell are the sins of the flesh. This is what she said. Father DeMarchi noted the children realized why Our Lady asked to pray and make sacrifice for sinners. "Do this," the lady was saying. "It is a great and good and loving thing to do. It will please God, who is love." Okay, so basically, this is the story that I wanted to go over real quickly. But I wanted to really focus on a couple of things about this particular article. It really shows the the um, the how these three children, when once the Virgin Mary opened up her hands and they got the sword of hell, how it really affected them, and mostly it was Jacinta that really became almost incensed that she wanted to pray and keep praying. I mean, she didn't want to even play anymore. She just wanted to keep praying for the poor souls in hell, and uh, and also to do sacrifices. You know, and one thing is to pray and pray the Rosary, but another thing is to sacrifice, to have a penance. So these children were so incensed about getting souls out of heaven that they were sacrificing their lunches. And so I just wanted to really have you come to grips that this health thing is real. And one of the biggest things that I want for this channel to do is I want people to understand that hell is real. And what I'm trying to do with this particular channel is having people being devoted to Our Lady's Immaculate Heart, so that we will pray and save souls, pray the Rosary, do penance, sacrifice, so that we can pull out these people out of hell and out of purgatory. You know, the children were looking at their lady in terror, speechless, and unable to plead for relief from the scene that they had witnessed. This is serious stuff, people, and I just want people to awaken. And I just think this story of the Fatima really brings home the importance of praying the Rosary, praying, sacrificing for yourself, for your family, and for all the lost souls in hell. Okay, people, thank you for listening to me. God bless. Please pray the Rosary, and thank you, and God bless.